welcome back to my video. It's GloomyDiva, and in this video I'm going to talk about the time I worked at Victoria's Secret, and I hope you guys can gather some good intel from this video in case you decide to work there yourself. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So to start off, I'll just explain the interview process for Victoria's Secret. So they called me. I actually did miss the call, so they left a voicemail basically telling me they're interested, they saw my resume, and they'll think I'll be a good fit. And so I returned the call, scheduled an interview, and next thing I know, I was in the office talking to the manager there, and she was really sweet. I kind of just like have a bubbly personality. I was talking more than usual, which is something that I do when like I'm nervous, because job interviews make me really nervous, and so I was talking a lot, and I think that's what she liked. You know, she kind of liked that I was talking a lot, because when you're working in retail, they want you to engage with the customers, of course. But I guess she saw me as being someone who maybe talks a lot, even though it's kind of the opposite of who I am. Like, I'm pretty bubbly, and I do talk to people I'm close with, but like having to talk to the customers or complete strangers is kind of out of my comfort zone. So I guess she took it as like, oh, she's going to talk a lot. She's going to be engaging with the customers. And I think that's like one of the big reasons I ultimately did get hired. And so I think she was kind of taken aback when I did start working there. I wasn't like talking too much. She was like, okay. But, you know, I wasn't just like not talking at all. I was still engaged with the customers because, you know, I kind of just put myself in their shoes. Like, okay, if I go in the store, I don't want to be completely ignored, but, you know, I just like introduce myself, tell them, you know, I'm here if you need any help. But anyway, back to the interview. So she asked basic questions, basic interview questions. It wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. She asked me, so tell me about yourself. Do you have any experience at all working with customers or, you know, just engaging with customers? She also wants to know if I had any experience with inventory, taking inventory, setting up merchandise, working on the cash registers. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary that she was asking me. You know, questions like, tell me about a time where you had to make a difficult decision, or, you know, things like that. And so I answered pretty honestly. I didn't rush with my answers because, you know, I just wanted to sound as sincere as possible. And so she did take that into consideration. I did get a call back between a week and 2 weeks later. They said, you know, they're interested in hiring me. And so, you know, I did the paperwork. I went down there, I did the paperwork, and pretty much a few days later, I started working my first shift. I do want to point out that she did ask me, you know, why I decided to work here. And I did give a pretty unique answer. I said, I come here all the time. It seems like a chill place to work, and I'm pretty familiar with where everything goes. I know where the lingerie is. I know where you keep the body care stuff. So I told her, you know, you hire me, you're not going to have to like pretty much tell me, okay, this goes here, because I already know. So I do think she took that into consideration and was just basically like, okay, well. Plus, they needed that help. From what I was seeing, it didn't have a consistent number of people staying. Every time I went, it was new faces, some old faces, but I'm getting to that later as to why I think people kept leaving, me being one of them. So my first week basically working there, I did part-time, by the way, and it was pretty chill. You basically do the same thing every time you come in. There's nothing like, oh, we're doing something new this time. If you do come in during the opening hours, you know, before the customers come in, you have to take inventory count. You have to put everything out. This is when things started getting complicated and unorganized for me. I feel like things like that should be done the day prior when the customers are gone and everyone's, you know, cleaning up. I feel like something like inventory should be taken into account and not the day that we're going to open again. We cut pretty close a lot of times when we're setting up stuff and customers are pouring in. It's just kind of chaotic. It's been a number of times when people will call in and, you know, it was just me and another girl who was working there like a few months before I started working there. when we were like setting up the mannequins, we're putting like the bras on the mannequins and the t-shirts while customers are in there. And so we have to do that and help the customers, and it seemed pretty chaotic and unorganized, and I think it's something that could have been fixed if we could do that the day prior, because it was plenty of nights when we close out, you know, a couple of people are at the cash registers counting out the money, trying to make sure everything's there, we're not coming up short or anything. And me and like a couple of other girls were just sitting around like, we don't know what to do. I feel like during that time, they could have just had us like complete inventory or set up, you know, the new mannequins or new posters. But like I said, I did enjoy the atmosphere. Everybody was super friendly. What I did like, and it's not something that I was used to because I never worked in retail before, but I liked how when we did close out, and you know, it's nighttime, of course, everybody waited until everybody had a ride home, and I did appreciate that. I also appreciated the discounts, which was bittersweet, because it's kind of like when you're working in like a store, your income is going basically back into the company because you can't help but shop there. At least for me, because like I said, I love Victoria's Secret, and so when I would get paid, I'm already there, and I wouldn't be the only one who would clock out and then go shopping before we leave. So that happened plenty of times. And also working at Victoria's Secret, you do get big discounts. Like, I can't remember specifically, I think it was like 50% off. Don't quote me on this because it's been like 2 years since I worked there, but you would get like a big discount wherever you shopped at. And Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, they're under the same company. So you go to Bath and Body Works, you buy something, you know, you say like you're an employee at one of the brands. It's called L Brands, by the way. You're an employee in the L Brands and you'll get like a big discount. Now, while I was working at Victoria's Secret, they did let me know that since I did work there monthly, I would get something free or a couple of things free. Whether it be leggings or, you know, one of the body cares, a t-shirt, something like that. And I liked it because I like free stuff. But it was weird because we had this iPad we would be on. And that's where we would go to complete some courses, because we'll have to complete like a class or watch a few videos before we get the freebie. And a lot of times on the iPad, it would not work, and I want my free stuff. So I would go to like one of the higher ups, one of the managers, and just say like, it's not working. And they say like, during our shift, we can do this. So if we're at the cashier and there's not a lot of customers, if we're organizing, you know, if it's just like a chill day, we can just like go on the iPad and do it. And everybody had an iPad for the most part. It's just to keep track of everything. And so one time when I was the greeter. So I was at the door behind like a little desk with the iPad. And my main job was just to basically, so if you have an iPhone and you go to notes, you can make like the numbers like 1, 2, 3, and then you can make like a bulletin point and just check it off. So that's basically what I did. For instance, if 2 people came in, I'll check off 1, 2. 2 more people come in, that's 3, 4. Somebody leave, I check it off, and it's just 3 people left. And so that's basically what I did. They will come in, I'll say, hi, welcome to Victoria's Secret. I'll let them know if we have any sales. I'll ask, do you need to get measured for a bra and stuff like that. And so basically when I was doing that, I was just like, okay, I can just do something else because we can't be on our phones, of course. And so I would go on the iPad and try to complete the classes so I can get my freebie, and it wouldn't work. And it felt kind of like some of the managers were gatekeeping it, like they didn't want to give us the freebies, because when I would ask for like help to get onto the course or the videos to get credit for it, they would act too busy, or, you know, they would say like, oh, let's do that later, and later would come. I still get no help. And it felt kind of weird. It's like, it's not all in my head. I told my boyfriend this, what was going on. And he was like, oh, they're probably just like sidetracked or whatever. And no, they're not sidetracked. They don't want to give no freebies. And this wasn't like the only occasion this would happen. It was like multiple times. When I was working there, I needed help with something. Not just with freebies, just anything in general. And I would get no help. Like on the cash register. one lady, she was super sweet. She always helped me, but everyone else, it was just kind of like you're on your own. Outside of work, I would say they're pretty nice. When it's pretty chill, everyone's friendly and talking, but I guess the nerves will get to them, or they'll get, you know, super busy and I want to like help people, even though it'll be like my first week. I never worked on a cash register. I don't want to get anything wrong, and when I get frustrated, I tend to just like leave. So moving on to why I decided to stop working at Victoria's Secret. And it's a lot of factors. Management had nothing to do with it as to why I decided to leave Victoria's Secret. The rush training, not either, because, you know, I'm used to bad management or whatever in jobs. I feel like every job has that period where the management is like unorganized, and I can get through it. It was the scheduling. Now, during my interview, I made it pretty clear to her that I was a full-time student. You know, I had to be pretty flexible with my hours. I had another job already. I was also rushing during, you know, at a sorority, rushing, and so I couldn't be as committed as I would like to be. Also, Victoria's Secret, compared to my tutoring job, compared to this IT job I was starting at, it didn't pay nearly as enough that I would need. So it was pretty much like not a big loss if I stopped working there. I wouldn't care too much. I mean, I would care, but I just told her, I said, I'm not going to stress over this. Like, you know my scheduling for as a student, so I need you to work with me. And she said, okay. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. However, when I was working at my other job, she would call me and say, like, can you come in? She would text me when I'm in class saying, are you free to come in today? And I would say, no, I'm at work. And so she started giving me hours that would be like 2 hours. And when I saw it, I was like, something's wrong. So I would go in and I talked to another girl, and she said she tends to do that when she doesn't get her way. The manager, I mean, she tends to give us the craziest hours. And so it felt like a waste to me because it's like a 20-some minute drive. I'm working 2 hours. That's a waste of gas. And I'm only getting paid like, I think it was like $10 or $11 an hour. So I was basically like, okay, I see how it is. So, and we had meetings like a lot of the times. Sometimes we'd have an hour meetings. So I would go there, be in a meeting for an hour, and the next hour I'm working, then I'm gone. It's just like, it was kind of a waste of time. And it's not something I'm used to, so I don't know if it's like normal to like do that in retail. So I just kind of like, okay. And at my tutoring job, I chose my own hours. So I didn't rely on like different hours each week. That was something else I didn't like. At Victoria's Secret, the hours weren't consistent. Like each week will be different set of hours. And I didn't really like that. So I made it pretty clear to her, like, I'm going to need some set hours because my hours in my job and as a student, they're not going to change. So I can't have these hours like constantly changing each week. So fast forward to the last week of working at Victoria's Secret, my hours are pretty much nothing, non-existent. And so leading up to this week, we had like more meetings than usual because someone was stealing. And so at the end of each workday, a couple of people, it's usually the same 2 or 3 people she would have at the cash register. They would count the money, make sure everything adds up right. And in the meetings that she would have, she would say we would come up short, like someone's stealing. And they have cameras at the cash register, but somehow they couldn't figure out who was stealing. And so another girl who worked there, she got hired like around the same time I was hired. She stopped showing up. And so I started seeing like, oh, it's a pattern. Like they would hire people, give them crazy hours, pretty much be vague about someone stealing, and then they would leave. And so I didn't really know who they was pointing the finger at. It was kind of just vague. She would say, someone's stealing from the cash register. We don't know who it is. And I'm going to keep to myself who I think it is because it's the people who stay at the cash register. She didn't keep me at the cash register because I would constantly, like, we had these mics and we would like talk to them and say, you know, I need help on the cash register. And I would constantly say that because people will come in with coupons, or they'll order something and want to return it through us, or they'll want to order something through us, like we're the computer, which we did have in the cash register. We can like order stuff for them, which I didn't even know until I worked there. I didn't know Victoria's Secret could do that, but they can. Oh, Gypsy's here. Say, hey, little one. I know this video probably all over the place. I'm sorry, but yeah. So, you see Gypsy here, her little ears. Oh, so precious. She wants to be in the video. But yeah, so I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but that's how my job experience was. It was all over the place. It was at the bottom of the totem pole for everything else I had going on during that time. So I ended up stopped working there because I looked at my hours for the week and I had 1 hour. And I told my mom, I was like, she has 1 hour for me working. And she said, my mom said she's probably just going to tell you, you know, she's letting you go. You know, just turn in whatever she gave you, like my badge or whatever. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to show up then. So I just stopped showing up. Because it was weird. It's like, just, I don't know. I think she was upset because I said, you know, my class come first and I have other jobs and stuff I'm doing. And it's not like I told her after she hired me, she knew at the interview process how crazy my schedule was. And she wanted more. And I said, these are the hours I can work. And so she decided to let me go. I didn't go there anymore. I didn't shop there, period. Cause it felt like it would be awkward if I would go there. It's another Victoria's Secret in my city, so I just started going there. Plus, since I moved into my house, I'm closer there anyway, so. Yeah, that was my time working there. Oh, I looked at Gypsy and I remember what we used to do at Victoria's Secret. So, it would be these girls, these women that would come in. Big hair, lots of clothes and garments on, big bags, and the mic. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all go to Victoria's Secret or pretty much any store that have mics, they talk mess about customers. Like, almost every customer that come in, they talk about them badly. Or they'll say, watch this person, of course. Which I knew about that, but I didn't know they would be, like, on the mic checking them and stuff. So, these women that would come in called gypsies, they'll come in, like, 3, 4 at a time, groups. And they'll say, the gypsies are here, you know, which basically means watch them because they have these big bags and they just start stuffing stuff in there. I will say, we had a Victoria's Secret side and a pink side. The pink side, you could enter through there. But when I started working there, they blocked it off because people would come in through Victoria's Secret side, steal stuff, and then run out the other exit door through pink. So we had to block that off. And so anyway, with the gypsies, they would come in, stuff, and then just walk out. And we didn't have security, so we couldn't really do nothing about it. And pretty much in the mic, we would just say, you know, the gypsies are here. I wouldn't say it. They would say it. They'll say, we have gypsies. And it was just a lot of stuff going on in that mic. A lot of laughing and, yeah, gossiping. But if I had to rate that job when I was working there for retail, as like my first retail experience, I would give it a 7. Mostly because it was a pretty easy job. Like, if you shop at Victoria's Secret or Pink, you know they have this table with just underwear. And so they would tell us, like, be at the table. And we just fold underwear for, like, 2 hours. Because people would come in, they'll look at the underwear, they'll throw it, and, like, we just come up behind them and just organize it. And it was pretty easy work. I had my phone on me, and I'll just be on my phone until people show up, and then I'll just organize it. So I would recommend it. I guess if you want to work in retail, Victoria's Secret's pretty good. And especially if you like shopping there, you get like 2-3 freebies a month, a big discount, you know, experience when you work there. It's just something that I could probably do it now, but I don't know. I have experience now, so that's a gain. Oh, little one's ears. Hey, they saw your ears. Alright guys, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope it was pretty informative. I feel like I was probably all over the place when I was talking, but yeah, Victoria's Secret is pretty good. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and like it. If you don't like it for me, like it for Gypsy. Like it for Gypsy. Look at that face. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.